All right, y'all. What we got going on today is I set up a test track with my Ninco single lane accessory, a couple of Ninco adapters to some SCX track. And I'm going to test out some of these fly cars. So this one is factory that I haven't done anything to. Just took the body off so you could see what I did to this one. I moved the motor to the rear, put a solid axle, changed the wires and the pickup. I put some slotted braids on and put a magnet in there too for a little bit of weight. It's considerably lighter after I moved that because we got but I just took a motor mount from a Carrera, and this is a Carrera motor, Carrera crown gear and pinion on the original axle. I just popped it off and replaced the crown gear. This one was really crusty. I think it had a broken back crown gear, but I wanted to move it, and it was a plain white one. So I did first time printing out my own decals and applying them, and I sprayed clear on top of it and modified the interior. I used the interior from a Carrera car that was old and had nasty tires and missing pieces and parts, but that's the original. That's what it looked like. It had that same full cabin in it, and now it's considerably shorter so that I can put the screws back in, and I'm going to do that. But yeah, that's the first time printing them decals out. It was a learning process. I used the inkjet decal paper, let them dry overnight, and then I sprayed them with some Tamiya TS13 clear. This stuff right here. It's safe. It's pretty good. I sprayed the decals a couple times and then checked them the next day, and one of them was running. So I sprayed a few more coats during the day and let it sit overnight, and then they were all right. So you have to get plenty of clear on there so the ink won't run. But eventually you can get a decent outcome on it. All right, like I said, so that's the bottom now. And those slotted braids are a lot better quality than the factory. But I'm gonna run this red one factory first before I try the modified one. A little more difficult with the headlights. Oh, that saline there, I haven't run it yet, but I had to take it apart. The front wheels were rubbing. And when you take it apart, all these motor pieces just fall out. It's not a good design. The front axles are half axles. They're on stubs, and they wobble around a lot. So if that body's not on there just right, they will rub. And that BMW M3 over there's got one tire that's close to the body. I imagine it will rub every once in a while. Got a couple of SCX cars down there, old Hornsby ones. Gonna run those in comparison. Squeeze tight. All right. So the track is like I said, the Ninco single lane accessory, which turns 2-lane track into single lane. You just get twice the distance. So we'll try the red Fiat 147 plain fly car first. Well, I'm gonna call that the braids right there. That stutter down there. Yeah. I think that's because of them real thin braids. That's the one with the motor in the front and the drivetrain to the rear axle. And here's the one where I moved the motor to the rear, put the new braids on, and made a solid front axle, which took out all the wobble. So we'll see what this one's like. That's with slotted braid material on there. Oh yeah. That's quite a bit better. Not even half throttle. Yeah, that's 1,000 times better than the original. That original was pretty a lot noisier, not as responsive. Still pretty quick. That's right. Okay. So that was a good modification to that one. Let's try this BMW. Man, that thing is real noisy. Running. Yeah, that wheel is rubbing really bad on the passenger side. It's a lot of wobble in it. That's why it's so noisy. Man, it sounds like it's about to throw a gear. Try the Saleen now that I took it apart. It's a rear motor drive, those factory skinny braids. It is a quick car. Very loud. Then let's try this one. Lancia Beta is a Sidewinder. factory braids. That's a good fixed front axle with not a lot of no, it's not a fixed front axle, but the stubs are in good shape. Yeah, a little too much. That's a good car out of the box, I would say. Except them front wheels, oh yeah, now they're good and wobbly now. I think I'll convert that to a solid straight front axle. I got some coming from Electric Dreams. I think they're showing up today, I don't remember. But since that's a Sidewinder motor, I'll be able to swap a solid axle. But that's the best running one straight out of the box without me taking it apart. And here's a Porsche with a longer can motor in the rear, factory braids, fixed front axle, but there's a lot of side to side motion on it. Probably could use some shims. That one is a low rider. It's bouncing on almost every seam of the track, but the chassis is real low and the tires are real shallow. The wheels are really, really shallow. It's very quick though. Barely pulling the trigger in it. There's no magnet in that car either. This car would be better on a wooden track, I would imagine, because it is so low. And the chassis, the body actually is a little bit lower than the chassis. And the tires are just barely above the level of the chassis. It's very quick, no magnet, but it's bouncing on pretty much every seam because it's so low. Little bigger tires would make it run okay on plastic track. And there's plenty of room in the wheel wells. But that is a very, very, very quick car out of the box. So now let's run two SCX cars. Now this is a $10 special from Pro Tinker Toys, and that's probably about exactly what it's worth. It has a pretty poor finish, very toyish, very plasticky. That front guide is horrible, and I don't know that you might be able to convert it. It's got a screw in the front under there. That would have to be cut out, but it still has a screw in the back, so that's possible. But man, the braids look horrible. Yeah, I wasn't expecting much out of that. Man, that flag is real stiff in there too, so it'll have problems around corners. There's two tangs that press up against the braid. Not a good interface. I think it's going to be parts car. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty horrible. Got an inline motor in the back. The gear mesh ain't terrible, but that whole front end assembly just looks like crap. Look at it. So Pro Tinker has these for 10 bucks. If you want to buy them for motors and axles and gears and whatever, that'd be all right. But I don't think much can be done with this. It has a fixed front axle, but look at that front flag. That is such a poor design. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. This one is similar. This is an old Hornsby, but the flag actually fits down in there like it's supposed to. That may be the problem with that one. Nah, not so. It needs a fix. Believe that one. This one does not have a magnet. I had to glue the wheels on this one the first time I ran it on the track, this track before. The wheels kept flying off front and rear, so I just marred up the axles and glued them on. There's a lot of play in the front, but it runs. And it has lights. If you get the full speed, you'll see the lights too. That car is actually very quick, but very top heavy. It wants to come off the track. There's no magnet on it. But for a 90s Hornsby, I'm saying this one is pretty good. The front flag is, again, that same kind of design, but that one's actually down where it's supposed to be. I don't know what's going on with this one. I'll take a quick look. I don't think I'll get anywhere. Absolutely nothing to that. So you see you got two tangs on there that interface to the wires on the other side. And for some reason, a flag that don't want to go in. That has got to be one of the cheapest looking front axle assemblies. It's literally just pinched in there. Cellophane tape on the wires. That's a good idea. Not much to the back. Saying the mold might be off or something. It's not going far enough in. Yeah, it's not gonna run worth nothing. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know, I might see if I can Dremel that out and put something else in there. Because that sure ain't worth nothing. I wonder, is it the same as this one? Now that one fit in there okay. Still got no weight. Not that body will help much. But I'll put it on there. Well, it was the guide, but it's still pretty junky. I would say that car ain't worth much but parts. This one, not a whole bunch of better quality. This one was made in England, it says. This one was made in China. I don't know if I believe that was actually, well, it's from the 90s. It could have been made in England. Not good. Said no weight, no magnets. A little bit of magnets in there. Yep. All right then. 3 good cars is my modified one. That Sidewinder, that crazy orange thing that can barely stay on the track because of the bumpiness. But it's more of a racing design. It's got some removable wheels that are aluminum, got Allens on them, and a long can motor, and it's really quick, but can't keep it on this smaller track. But that's about it for today, y'all.